Salutations, this is Grim DeVille. Welcome back to our Let's Play of The Longing. As I started it up, the shade, our little shade, was still pitter-patting, was walking. He was not stopped. Which makes me think, is he still walking to the place we told him to go last time? I don't know. Or is he going to stop in just a second? So the thing is, last time we played, I was like, well, the only thing I can think with this riddle is... Well, here's a piece of paper, so I guess this is an area we haven't yet explored. Is to go to the Hall of Eternity, and maybe there's a hidden door there. However, I have been told that I think I was actually on the right track before. The comments have told me, apparently when we looked at the map, apparently there was a door that is there that we can't ordinarily see. So my idea was right. I think I had the right idea. What I thought was true. I just didn't notice it, even though I was looking for it. I think. I still haven't examined it and tried to figure out where that door is. Like, maybe it looks like a normal thing, and I just never noticed that it's not actually in the game, right? So this episode, there's a lot of stuff that I want to do. None of it has to do with the Hall of Eternity. But the thing is, since we're here and deep in the Hall of Eternity, I think there's not much I can do about it. So I think this episode is just going to be us hanging out in the Hall of Eternity. And that's going to have to be okay. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe there'll be something after we get a certain distance in it that's really cool. Who knows? But this is just going to be just kind of a pitter-patting through the Hall of Eternity, chatting it up kind of episode. But so my idea with that clue was correct. Can I just say, like, keep going forward? I want to look at my notes. Every time I Alt-Tab, it, like, flashes stuff. Yeah. Are you going to keep walking, even though I told you to only go to a certain place? Good. So, yeah, the clue was to find a mysterious door if you look for where you can see the most. The other thing that I have been told... Oh, so in the comments, someone, not Muscar this time, but actually someone else, thank you, Len, let me know, although Muscar did bring this up later, that when I used the blue fire last episode, when I lit the lapis lazuli, he was like, look at the time. So I watched back and look at the time. Time starts going backwards, which makes sense because when we talked, our words were backwards. And I never put two and two together. But the clock, when we used the lapis lazuli, was going backwards. And apparently, this can be manipulated so that not only does it go backwards, I think when we had it go backwards, it was just ticking back 1 second at a time. And usually when you're in your layer, it ticks forward at like 10 seconds a time. So, or maybe more at this point. But if we could tick it back at a fast pace and leave it that way somehow, I'm not sure if that's possible. We basically have as much time as we need to do whatever we want. This also comes up because this is related to the other clue for a to get that green crystal, to get the crystal in the beautiful place. If you remember, the clue was you may find a birthday present in a most beautiful place, which is the white crystal room and the green crystal there. And we were wondering, how do we get that green crystal? Well, and I don't mind that someone mentioned this in the comments because I'm fairly certain I never would have figured this out. But it makes a lot of sense. So knowing that we can reverse time, and knowing that that green crystal is a birthday present. Apparently, if you reverse time far enough to your actual birthday or right before it, and then go to that crystal to, I suppose, see the crystal be delivered as your birthday present, apparently then you can get it. I think that's how it works. So reversing time to before your birthday and then being there for the birthday. So the birthday, if memory serves, is at like 44 days or something like that. So we have a bunch of time to rewind if we do that. And then we also have to find that other clue, which is apparently in a hidden door. And I guess that's just me scouring that map and looking at, I guess, my own Let's Plays to see like, oh, wait, when we walked by there, was there a door? There's one on the map. Was there one when we walked by? So I think I may need to do that a bit, which I'm not looking forward to, but I'm gonna try. But I think next episode we're gonna go. At the end of this episode, I'm gonna go right outside the lair, and then next episode, which I'll probably record tomorrow, we will go in the lair and try to manipulate time reversal, which is pretty exciting. I wonder if you get to the point of your birthday. If you remember, we got the lapis lazuli when that cavern dried up, which apparently happened around our birthday. So if we reverse time to before our birthday, can we reverse time past that, or does the lapis lazuli disappear? I don't know. I don't know how it works. I mean, in theory, if we reverse time to before when we even picked up the lapis lazuli, I mean, the time reversal doesn't really make any sense at all, but as you know. So yeah, we're going to do that. I'm excited about that. And then I'm not sure. It's possible that we'll be able to get that done in one episode and figure that out in one episode with the time reversal. I'm not sure how much time it'll take to actually reverse the time or how long we'll have to wait. But boy, that would make me feel a lot better just about being in the lair and doing stuff. Of course, it does all mean that this series is going to last longer than I had thought it would last, depending on how much time we reverse. But of course, if we finish everything we want to finish, we can always just go to the lair and wait out time there, and it will go very fast. We also want to try the stork thing, the stork tower, at some point. But I think the first thing we want to do is the time reversal. And then if we can get that done next episode, possibly 2 episodes from now, then we'll look for the secret door. And if that's true, I don't know if I'm going to have time to actually look at it on my own time. But if that is the case, I guess we can spend an episode actively, I'll get my own map open, and we can just walk around to where I think maybe there's a door there. But I'll try to give it a good look and see if there's anything that sticks out that I just never noticed. Certainly nothing sticks out as arrows pointing to it saying, this is a secret door, or anything like that. If it must just look like a normal door on the map, and I just never noticed. I suppose. So, yeah. Excited about that. And I still don't know how to do the journal thing, but I'm confident. I feel like if I'm not frantic in the lair about time passing by too quickly, I think I'll be able to think about it with a much clearer head and hopefully get that. Also, we're picking up a lot of paper here, which is nice. Basically infinite paper if you just keep walking. We can make more drawings if we want. And again, if we have infinite time in the lair, or at the very least we can reverse time in the lair. Well, if you can only... I think you can speed up the reversal of time. If you can't, then that would mean that we have to, basically idle in our lair for, 30 days or something like that, which I'm not sure we want to do. But if you can even idle... I don't know how it works. I think someone told me in the comments kind of how it works, but I didn't really want to look too carefully at that. I know that it reverses time. I think we can manipulate it, and I want to try to do that. So, very exciting. And that's it. That's pretty much all I have to say, I think. So yeah, the series is lasting a little longer than I thought. But today, just earlier today, I'm recording this on Saturday, and earlier today I had my first Caves of Cud live stream, which was pretty fun. It was pretty awesome. Caves of Cud is a little annoying live streaming in that, I use a webcam for my live streams, and there's no good place to put your face. Like, at some point, you're going to be blocking something. But it's fine. And I guess because, it was a pretty active live stream, more so than my usual Dwarf Fortress ones, for whatever reason. I think it's a pretty... Caves of Cud, as of recent weeks, has picked up in popularity. I even had, like, a real-life friend ask me, like, hey, have you ever played this game, Caves of Cud? And I was like, yes, I have. I was like, I have many series on it. Take a look. So I think word's starting to get out about that game, which is awesome. The devs definitely deserve that. And yeah, it helped, probably helped the popularity of my stream. I don't know. Such a fun game. You folks watching The Longing may not be as into some of my other series, especially my roguelike series like Caves of Cud, but because there's not necessarily a lot of overlap there in the genres, but I hope you'd give it a try at least. It's a just fantastic game. And we had a lot of fun, and we didn't die in the 3-hour stream, and we're gonna continue it in 3 more weeks. I'm excited about that. Yeah, that's about all. Let me think. What else? What else can we fill this episode with? What's going on? What can I tell you about? What's going on in the world? My wife is painting our garage. Oh, look at this. Look at this. A new carpet? I think this is a new carpet. It's gray. As you can see. Oh, look, when we walk on it, it's soft. A carpet. It will warm my feet at home. Awesome. I'm glad to see that we are still finding new stuff in the Halls of Eternity. It makes me feel better about this episode and this choice we made. Yeah, my wife does pretty much all of the painting because she does a lot of that stuff, that kind of stuff, because my feeling is, like, if I lived alone, I would just pay someone to do it. I make enough money, I'm not good at that stuff. I hate doing it. I would just pay someone to do it. And my wife is more of the mindset, like, no, I would rather save the money. I would rather do it myself. And my feeling of that is, like, if that's how you feel, you can feel free to do it yourself, but I am then more than happy to pay for someone to do it. So she ends up doing it herself because I guess she enjoys it more than the feeling of wasting money on that. Which is not to say I don't do anything around the house. I just installed smart dimmers in all of our rooms, which was a project I'd been working on for a while. But I finally finished the last couple just last weekend, I think. So yeah, I have smart dimmer in this room in my studio now, so I could tell my my Google. I don't want to say the name too loudly in case she hears me, but I could tell it to lower my lights or raise my lights or turn them off, and that would be it's really nice. It's nice being able to do that in pretty much all of our rooms now. All of our rooms. And I did that. I know a little bit about electricity and installing that stuff in your home. So yeah, I do some things. But yeah, so my wife is now painting the garage so that we can then install shelves in our garage so we can put more stuff up there and we can actually park our car in our garage, which we have, just a one-car garage in a neighborhood just filled with similar-sized houses, all with one-car garages, and I'm pretty sure the standard practice is that nobody puts their cars in their garages. The garages are universally, in my neighborhood, with few exceptions, used for storage. And ours was too. We parked our car in the garage like the first night we were here, and after that we started putting stuff in, and have never, and it's not like great for the car either. Like it's not a big garage, so it barely fits the car. To get out of the car in the garage, you have to squeeze out. But still, it would be, I think my wife's feeling, and I agree, is that like it would still be nice to put it in the garage, like in bad weather, like in a hurricane or storm, stuff like that, or during the winter, when it's cold, just to maintain the life of the car. So I think we are going to try to get it so that the car can actually get in the garage. So we're getting shelves and emptying, trying to like find other homes for the stuff that was in the garage. Although I'm not sure like what we're going to do with our electric lawnmower and stuff like that. We'll figure it out. I don't want to get a shed. I don't like sheds. But I don't know. I guess if this is a priority, maybe. And then I think after that, our next big project, I think we're thinking about getting a dog, which I think I've mentioned on this channel. But before we get a dog, my wife thinks that we should get a fence. So our next thing is to like price out a fence, see how much it would cost to get like a something that looks decent and is effective. That would also keep deer out of our backyard. There are always deer back there, as you've seen. If you want, I think the last Dwarf Fortress live stream I did, there was I showed everyone a deer in my backyard, which was live, which is on my channel somewhere. One of the last Dwarf Fortress episodes. So yeah, we want to get a fence, or we want to price a fence and see how much it will cost. And then if we get a dog, the dog can just roam around our backyard freely, run around, which should be fun. I mean, our plan is to get an indoor dog, but it'd just be nice to let the dog out like that, you know. And just have a little, yeah, and keep deer out, stuff like that, and just feel a little more like we can do whatever we want back there. Not that we don't already, but then after that, our plan is to like get a deck back there, or maybe a patio, something. I'm not sure, but I guess we're gonna have to talk to people about that and see how much that would cost and what that would look like. Because it would be nice. We have nothing in the backyard. I mean, we have a sukkah in the backyard that we still haven't taken down, which we're planning on taking down tomorrow. But ordinarily, there's nothing in our backyard. We don't really use it, so it'd be nice to get like a nice deck out there. We have a bad mosquito problem because of the house. I think because the house next door to us is abandoned, and I think mosquitoes breed there. So we have a bad mosquito problem, and it makes me think maybe we should get some kind of screened-in porch or something like that. I don't know. Even though I don't really like the look of that, I would rather just be outside. But yeah, that's the next like big house project thing. And we'll price that out, get quotes. The house next door to us, if I've never mentioned this before, it's abandoned. It was abandoned when we moved in. And the story, I think, is that a divorced couple lived there, an older divorced couple. They got divorced. The wife moved away. The husband stayed, and at some point died in the house. Maybe I don't know where. Died while living in the house. And since then, whoever owns the house, in theory, the ex-wife, maybe? I don't know. Whoever the next of kin is, has done nothing to the house, which makes no sense. The housing market is good here. We live right outside of New York, and right now, you know, the past, like, however long since the pandemic, lots of people have been moving out of the city, trying to move into neighborhoods like ours. So real estate's doing very well here. You would think that someone would want to sell a property, but no, there's nothing. They must be paying taxes on the property, and taxes here in New Jersey are very high. Property taxes. Game is stuttering a bit for me. Come on, you can do it. There you go. So yeah, property taxes are super high. I know, like, their sidewalk has been marked because if you if the sidewalk in front of your house is being lifted up by tree roots, which is very common in my neighborhood, you have to pay for it with the help of the city. The city will get root trimmers and stuff like that for you, but you're responsible for your sidewalk. So theirs is marked. So that means that they're paying fines for not fixing their sidewalk as well. So they're just throwing money at this, and no one's living there, and they could be selling it. I would imagine that they would want to renovate and sell it, but even so, they could sell it to someone that wants to renovate it and sell it, or renovate it and live in it, because it is pretty broken down at this point. No one's been taking care of it. So yeah, we live next to what my wife affectionately refers to as the murder house, because you can see it, outside of some of our windows, like in our one of our upstairs bathrooms. If you look out the window, you were just looking straight into their house. And my wife keeps saying one day she's going to look out the window and just see a pair of eyes, child eyes staring back at her, and she's just going to scream bloody murder. But right now there's no one living there. Although we actually do have, I don't think I've ever talked about this on my channel. There is an actual murder house on my street. It's not the one next to us. That's just abandoned. But just down the street a block on my same street is a house where 10 or 11 years ago, someone was murdered. And there's a story there. Apparently this person was kind of like a town gadfly. She would always go to town hall meetings and complain about things. I read apparently the mayor would give her rides to town hall meetings, and she would just complain to the mayor the entire trip. And so kind of the kind of person that was always into everyone's business, complains about everything all the time. Would go outside. She would garden a lot. This is what I hear from stories and from neighbors. And one day, there was a fire at the house. The fire department went there. I think I'm remembering this correctly. I might be wrong about some details. Fire department goes in. It looks like someone had started a fire at the house, and they go in, and she's bound to a chair and having been murdered. I can't remember the exact details of how that murder was done, but murdered. And then they tried to light the house on fire. And it has been a cold case for 10 or 11 years. No one has solved it. No one knows who did it. We've talked to neighbors that have theories. I have a neighbor who, she used to complain about this neighbor, tried to call the cops on this neighbor for parking his car on the curb and stuff like that. Just really, really into everyone's business. And yeah, the kind of person that'll tow your car, that kind of person. This neighbor that lived, just a couple of houses down, he thinks that she maybe got into a drug dealer's business, because she was always getting in everybody's business. Pick it up. Basically sticking her nose where it really didn't belong, and where it was dangerous to stick her nose, and maybe tried to wouldn't let up, and then maybe tried to call the authorities on them or threaten to. That's his theory. And then in theory, drug dealers or someone like that, or someone affiliated, went in and murdered her. But again, it's a cold case. No one really knows. I think there's some evidence, but I'm not sure what. And right now, they're finally, after 10 or 11 years, renovating this house. No one has lived in it since then. And people are renovating it now. I'm not sure how that works, who owns the house now, who's renovating it, if it's the bank. But apparently all of her stuff was just still in the house, and they just put it all in this giant dumpster. And I saw in a neighborhood Facebook group, people were noticed some stuff blowing out of it, old journals and stuff, and diary entries talking about her old love interests and stuff like that. And did the cops look at that stuff, or the investigators, did they look at that stuff, make copies of that stuff? Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, just a really crazy thing in my neighborhood, just like a block down the street from me. And again, this is not a typical occurrence in my neighborhood. I live in a lovely neighborhood where you would not expect anything like that to happen. But it happened once. Happened. It's a very, very safe neighborhood. But yeah, that happened. All right. So anyway, that's the story of the abandoned house and the murder house on my street. A lovely street. Don't get me wrong. I love living here. I think at this point we will say that's it for... We're going to overwrite here. Yes. And we're going to say go back to just outside the lair, which we did a couple of episodes ago. Right there. Yeah, let's see if anything's changed there. And we'll have a new carpet when we go. And I will see you next time. I enjoyed playing with you today, and I'll see you then. Bye, everybody.